konuşmacı A.J. Roberts. Bayan Roberts, Tulsa Üniversitesi'nden Kimya ve Üniversitesi'nden de hücre doktora derecesi bulundu. 2001 yılları arasında viral ve aşılama 2006-2013 yılları Mikrobiyoloji Fakültesi'nde yardımcı profesör çalıştı ve biyoloji, İmmünoloji ve bulaşıcı hastalıklar programının başkanlığını yaptı. 15 yılları arasında Rwen'de misafir araştırmalarına devam etti. Dr. Roberts çeşitli bilimsel dergilerde 40'tan fazla makale yayınladı ve dünyanın bir uluslararası bilimsel konferansa katıldı. 2000 yılında bulaşıcı hastalıklar konusunda araştırmaları dolayısıyla bilimine layık görüldü. Şu an bilim ve dinin uyumu biyokimya seviyede yaratıcı gibi çalışmalar yürütüyor. Dr. Roberts bugünkü konuşma evrimin sözde süreçlerin aslında bir ürün mutasyonla hiç evrimde süreçteki insanlara empati edecek.
Thank the organization and science for I have enjoyed my and as these great often for your welfare. So perhaps you've heard statement. If there is more evolution than that the Earth remains on. Well, evolution, and that's what my talk is about, is a word equivocal. It depends on a word. It involves for the meaning quality of and in equivocating, you mean one meaning, using the word in context. This often happens with someone may be true, but it may also be the word we are in the next few minutes in this word some clarity whether or not it might be true. The word is used in different contexts, actually in reference to categories. Microbial evolution, speciation, and evolution. My colleague some minute on this of hurdles, but chemical evolution is online. It is sometimes and it is synthesized by small inorganic compounds, and these are the cells. It is at the explanation for hurdles it faces are the chemistries of many of the biogenic molecules. These chemistries are not so if you generate a sugar, have you're trying to generate a fatty acid, the RNA and RNA. But the chemistry is not compatible with conditions. chirality of RNA and also chirality of a molecule sometimes referred to as the handed molecule. Although they have a finger, you cannot put up on the other. It is true that the RNA and all proteins share left-handed generate or amino acids through natural laboratory to develop a single type of molecule or molecule. You get a mix, and the ratio of left-handed, 50% right-handed, 50% right acid. Very difficult to size and change. Those stark contrast produce and only for RNA. Of the origin to behind the molecule and right only acid, and yet there in mechanism for generating or maintaining of or other. A third hurdle, account. My slides must be. Hurdle is a naturalistic account of information, which again, Fazal Rana has spoken to 30 minutes. The DNA, as described, is a cellular blueprint for all genes and by RNA intermediate, all proteins produced. And information that is in a molecule is often appealed to as indicating an intelligent designer. Argue it requires an intelligent God to produce this type of information. Not information that is most difficult to express within the cell. Also, system level, which Dr. will refer to. How did the cells orient different proteins, different cellular systems that accomplish different molecular processes? Where does the information come? Structuring these things in the right orientation, and also for work and together, highly intricate, almost orchestrated like a symphony. It's not just account for DNA, but to account for this higher level subsystem metabolic process information as well. Maybe it would help if I get analogy. So if you think about trying to build a car ground up, parts. One, whether it's the plastic, rubber part, on how to parts. Mechanisms to produce those parts, just the information. So mechanisms, you need information for the part, but not enough. Now with just parts of a car, you know how the car systems interact in order to generate combustion. And so you have to have system level information in parts to get the right way in order to get that you can. This, I think, is a poor analogy if we're to express the complexity within a human cell. A better analogy would be able, if someone would account for all of the functional interactions, all the pieces, mechanisms that are involved in something as complex as the city of Istanbul. Not spend any time, since I have 4 more topics to talk, is that life on Earth occurred almost and it occurred in a complex and diversified manner. This challenge, as I was addressed in my many committed to a paradigm to appeal to something called that the biogenetic perhaps itself not originated somewhere else in the universe, and admitted for natural things like comets or an advanced, but can for the origin of life some in the universe where chemical law came and where producing life on life so it is not a problem. And in conclusion, this chemical evolution is not a logical evidence for the origin. It is only a natural to a oh. So the second category and micro the mechanism and characteristics of microevolution are twofold. They are unguided or random, and they are the hallmark of Darwinian evolution. Mutations themselves adaptive capacities and variations that it describes such without resulting to like this often wrongly employed. So the third category, evolution, microbial evolution refers to the process of cellular archaea, eukaryotes or yeast as they rapidly produce gene environments of beneficial evolution mutations. So back other single cell organisms gain genetic information through 3 different mechanisms. First is conjugation, contact with one another, and one bacteria gets genetic information to a type of sort or exchange of genetic information, transduction, vector mediated. Virus information to the bacteria, and if it remains in the bacteria, the bacteria can replicate and gain information from the virus. The third mechanism that organisms can exchange genetic information is one information occurs when bacteria die or life releases its genetic information in time with the genetic into acquiring information that had built. Whether it's evolutionary mutation, transfer of genetic logical would be that occur in all of the result. But the mechanism is a very allow a single cell organism to survive in changing environment and allow adaptation to specific ecological niches on an ongoing basis. This brings us now to the fourth category, which is associated by the UV radiation, responses to stress, and the DNA become damaged. It can break, but repairs exist and rejoin double-stranded DNA ends. Mutations then occur, damage done to the DNA through the repair itself. The sequence can also occur in DNA as polymerase. As it copies the nucleic acid, sometimes it makes the ability to actually correct messages, but it takes taken about every 10 million years. Whereas damage or broken DNA or DNA. The main mutations create variability, and when there is variability, selection can occur through natural processes. This means selection occurs that allows them to survive and thrive, and that organism survive and thrive. If, on the other about that it is blind watchmaker. It's not being driven towards a specific or simply natural done blind process that cannot perceive this is a very Darwinian and Darwin that evolution, including microbes, is non-logical. I find this to be one of the talk about evolution and specific cellular biology. It actually leads them to adapt the organism with a teaching mind. And others endow DNA with an survive, propagate, per selfish genes. This is magic telling of utter ridiculous. Not scientific. In fact, it's counterintuitive. And probably and adaptation. And much like the word evolution, which we're in the process of species is a word that is often equivocated, used in many different terms and meanings, different conditions. This actually it's called the species problem. species problem results from a wide approach of defining how species are identified, species in nature. And each approach to identify species function identified within themselves is known as a species concept. Currently, 26 different recognized species. But the important point is that you must be very careful to know what the person is talking about when they are going to use species, especially this speciation. So speciation refers to the process in which species become genetically, phenotypically, by appearance, behaviorally distinct species, simply due to geographical isolation that results in reproduction in groups. During speciation, radiation events occur. Split in various ecological niches where they encounter environmental pressures. In relative isolation, organisms undergo types of environmental pressures at a microevolutionary level, and also genetic drift, because now we're talking about multicellular organisms that sexually reproduce. These stresses and environmental pressures can also result in epigenetic change that affect a species' phenotype and behavior. And over time, each niche will mold and support that will be to that ecological niche. Actually described as an event in the observation of different types of Galapagos Islands. He identified 50 marks of the different species was the size and width of the beak of the finch. But recent studies have indicated that beak morphology, or the shape, changes in oscillating fashion in a progressive towards new and novel structure. In wet environments, the beaks will be narrow. In environments, the beaks will tend to be thicker and more. So this suggests at least speciation from a phenotypicity is adaptive to varying environmental changes. It's not unidirectional change progression, really new. It's also not allowing an organism to make giant leaps from taxonomy to another. All Darwin's finches remain finches. For biologists, research in snails, all on an island environment. Snails were isolated into different geographical regions. But again, what was biodiversity within snails that were well particular ecological niches, but it wasn't diversified snails, which are geographically and behavior. Example at the genomic level are actually as endangered species in the United States and Canada. But at the genomic level, what we discovered is that species are really genetic of coyotes and gray wolves. This new data is actually determining their protected classification and status as endangered species, highlighting this problem in regard to evolution. Collective breed dogs, wolves, coyotes, seem to be the breed over time than a species radiation event. No populations are now isolated, certainly by behavior and geographic restraints. Species may not actually be isolated since they cross. Also, of species within an ecological web. In this study, they looked at wasps is that the species and it's driven by environment, but yet even examples, contrary to papers claim, no significant the changing of a species into a different kind or a different taxonomical classification. And even if we, like the North American wolf study showed, choose to call the species something entirely different, it doesn't mean remains, although they're changing and to remain plants, flies. If we consider the speciation in the context of humanity, and as Christians, there was a pair, Adam and Eve, that were created in God's image according to the Torah. In His image, He created the female. If you believe that mitochondria and Y chromosomal Adam to 150,000 years ago, then diversity of human today results in an ongoing speciation event. The differences of major races and ethnicities. Some of the island groups, Australia, the Middle East, European or Asian people, and compare it to an extremely tall human being. Nevertheless, no, we are all human. We are all sapiens. The category is that of macroevolution. And be very careful with equivocation. Macroevolution is a series of naturalistic processes occurring over time that account for history, form, and complexity, resulting in selection upon unguided changes in population genetics in a contingent and non-teleological fashion. Macroevolution involves different systems for achieving. Mechanism is that of genome duplication, but genome duplicating a gene we have of that genome, and it provides no just greater amounts. In current observation, genome mutation in human cells is most frequently associated with cancer, and so this of increase in information is actually deleterious. Similarly, location or jumping genes, where some segments can be transferred into new regions in the genome. This type of mechanism can shuffle DNA information within of the DNA. It's not provided by DNA, and in current observations, this too is associated with human disease. Horizontal transfer occurs by viral mediated mechanisms, is not as that occurs in single organism. For horizontal gene transfer to hold in a human population, it must occur in the germline, in the egg, the fetus. We'll talk about it. But forever since the world has seen here, through everything God made, His invisible quality, so the are not. Whereas the psalm in the glory of God, His craftsmanship. Day after day, they continue after night, they make Him. Sound the message has gone out in their former life, and he flew. He was going, and he puts it this way: We have all the evidence in order, and only look for constantly keep him rather involved. Correct code naturalist. The only big for him is an undying and paradigm, not a clear and open mind. So, in conclusion, I would say paradigm far better Darwinian naturalistic paradigm. According to the reproducible regularity that we can in order, as my colleague of God. Scriptures and created a He wants. The scriptures also tell us that truth can be gained with all we will find. In conclusion, God in a humble in nature Jesus. So those who see will find of all that we see God.